What's up, Walking Dead friends and family? It's Brian Castrillo, and tonight's episode, Truth of the Walking Dead, episode 15 was fucking amazing. The writing and the acting was fucking amazing. Absolutely epic. We only got one more for part 2, and then we're going on break till sometime in August when we get part 3. But oh my goodness, I absolutely love this episode. It was fantastic. Now, right in the beginning, we start with where we left off in the past episode, and we see Toby Carlson's face, and after getting eaten by all those walkers, and his face looked epic. The special effects, again, just killing it in this episode. But Daryl surveys and I really like this episode because Daryl's kind of surveying the scene. You see the little evidence placards like right by the dead bodies, and it brings me back all the way to back in the prison season where Daryl, was telling Beth's boyfriend that he used to be a cop, but he said he was basically kidding then, but I don't know. Daryl's playing this cop role pretty good with the Commonwealth guards, and then we get up to the roof where we got Aaron and Father Gabriel being interrogated by Lance Hornsby, and then Daryl's going back and forth. It's almost like this good cop, bad cop scenario. I absolutely love that. Great way to start the episode. Then we see Princess and Mercer, whose name is Michael. After a night of sex, he's waking up and he's just kind of staring into the ceiling. But this was kind of really interesting because, Princess is trying to she can kind of read him and realizes that something is weighing on him and he doesn't want to talk about it. And she's just trying to let him know that she's there for him and she can deal with the heavy stuff, even though she might seem like a bubbly, kind of funny girl. But she's there for him and he's just like, oh, I'm fine. And just kind of shrugs it off, like, because he's, the strong guy. But of course, Princess has that background with, mental illness, and she knows a thing or two about dealing with bad stuff within her life, and she wants to be there for Mercer. And then we got Eugene and Rosita, and they're going up to Connie and Kelly, Connie and Kelly, and they're telling what Sebastian did and how April and a bunch of others got killed doing this run for Sebastian, and then Connie and Kelly tell them about the list, and they show that April's name was on there, and Rosita's like, some of this may be part of that list, but there's something more going on. And if you go back to one of my prediction videos, I was saying that I do believe that Lance Hornsby is connected to the CRM and possibly has a connection with Jadis. And I think he's trading people to put him in good and get different services or goods for the Commonwealth, and to put himself in a bigger position to possibly overthrow Pamela Milton. But that's something that we haven't got to yet. But I do believe that list is going to connect to that. And I think that's where Rosita realizes something else is going on. Then you got Carol, RJ, and Judith, and they're kind of walking along, and Ezekiel comes by, and you see RJ kind of saying, "Hi, Ezekiel," and he's like, "Good day, young friends. Drink deep from the cup of knowledge and listen to your teachers," going back to, the days of the kingdom. And it's so good to see, King Ezekiel jolly and happy again. He's got the peacock feather in his hair, and he's just in such a good mood. But what I took from this is that this is more kind of throwing knowledge that RJ is really smart and he's developing, he's really intelligent, just kind of throwing hints to this. And I do believe that maybe this might play into the future later on where RJ figures something out about the brave man possibly. But they're just kind of dropping little nuggets here and there that he is very intelligent, and I think this may play deeper into the season. And, Ezekiel's telling to Carol after they go on to school that, play hooky, let's do something together, let's get together. And Carol's basically trying to tell him that she can't, and because she has this other job. She's not really telling him what's going on, but it's basically saying it's better if you don't know. And of course, she's trying to figure out what's going on with Lance Hornsby. And then we see, Lance, the Commonwealth Guards. We got Daryl and Father Gabriel and Aaron, and there's some walkers going by. And this was just purely, this is fan enjoyment. But Lance is being a dick, and the reason why I say the fan enjoyment is because these walker kills are absolutely epic. Another fantastic episode is if you love walker guts and kills, this right here. But Lance basically says, well, being a smart ass that he is, goes to why don't you two, speaking to Aaron and Gabriel, you guys have been in the apocalypse all this time. You guys should be able to take care of it. And Daryl's like, what the hell? And he goes in to help him. And Lance is just watching because he's paying attention because he's trying to figure out where his guns went. But Aaron comes in with this spike punch right into the walker's face, and it explodes, blood everywhere. And not to be outdone, Aaron comes by with his sword, almost Michonne-esque, and the side of the face just rolls off, and you see the brain and guts coming out of the head, the blood. It was absolutely fantastic. And then Daryl, of course, is not going to be outdone. Sticks the knife of the gun into the face of one of the walkers, into another walker, and then shoots them both at the same time. But I mean, that's our guys on our family. That absolutely epic. And then, but they're on their way to Hilltop. And this was, that scene that we saw in the trailer where we thought that Maggie was upset with Daryl, but no. Basically, Lance is, trying to say that we want in, we want to check these, make sure you don't have these guns. He's basically telling her that we're coming to check and we'll be leaving and everything. And then Maggie, of course, being Maggie, said, nah, you ain't coming in here. And then, of course, Lance getting messed up or upset, and he goes to one of his guards and says, he's starting to tell him that we're just going to come in, whatever. And then Daryl, being smart, he says, nah, let me handle this. And that's where you see that scene where Daryl's like, yeah, it does have to be this way. But he's basically telling her to trust him. It's just they didn't show us in there, and it made us seem like that Daryl was mad at us. But that was kind of cool to get that scene. But again, with the water tower and a lot of scenes, really propping up this water tower. And it's making me worried for, Aaron or Father Gabriel, because that is ominous and they keep shoving that in our face. I feel like this is coming and we're going to be heartbroken. And I don't know if I'm ready to lose, a big member of our family, but it's coming. And then we got Zeke and Tommy, and Zeke is coming. He sneaks in the office and he's trying to get Tommy to help him. And he says he has this person who needs help with an appendectomy. And he wants Tommy, and Tommy just got off losing a patient. He's distraught. And he's just, basically saying he doesn't see his worth, and he's just questioning, what he's doing. And he's really broken up about this. And then we come back to, Eugene is telling Max, and, everything's starting to, come together, and telling about Sebastian, and just a funny, and this, Max is now getting upset. She's realizing what's going on, and this janitor, comes walking in, and they have to act cool. And of course, Eugene being Eugene, he already has the groceries, But then she gives him $1 tip. So I just thought that was funny. But Max, played by Margot Bingham, looked absolutely amazing. Lauren Cohan is my celebrity crush, but she was giving her a run for her money. But just also the acting was just brilliant. The way she was feeding off of Eugene, and you just those two were absolutely brilliant. And you're starting to see, her character starting to butt out and flesh out, and how she's starting to get concerned because she didn't realize what was going on with the Miltons and Sebastian, and she's upset that her brother Michael knew about it. And then we see Max goes up to Mercer, and of course, played by Michael James Shaw, and dude is ripped, and this whole episode he's just really flexing. But in this scene, he's working out, and his sister Max is talking to him. You see the poster, the Commonwealth needs you, and he's like their poster boy. But the biggest part of this whole conversation is where she says, maybe you really are just a poster, just really kind of giving it to him. And this is kind of starting to break down, Mercer's wall, because he loves his sister, and he doesn't want her mad at her. And she just made him realize that, you can't just let people die under your care. But he's basically saying, I got to be there for more than just these people. But now he's starting to realize that he has a bigger role. Now we see Lance. This is actually probably my favorite scene. Lance is investigating and just really digging it to Maggie, and just being the kind of the asshole with a smile. Like this guy is an amazing villain, and he makes you hate him with a big smile. But he's basically giving it to Maggie, and he's like saying, oh, look at this truck, pretty uncommon to have a truck looking this good in the apocalypse this late. And I'm a bit of a gearhead myself. And he's basically trying to tell Maggie that he thinks that she was involved with, the killing of the guards, taking the money, whatnot, not the money, but the weapons. And he fixes, and he says, now I see what's happened. And it's really tense scene. And by the way, the musical, the music in this episode is really good at setting the tone. But we're waiting, and it's really tense. And he all of a sudden turns a key, and nothing. And he looks like the biggest asshole, which was fantastic. Not the first time in this episode, but this was definitely my favorite. And then Maggie basically says to him, you and your people have till sundown, and you need to get out. Lauren Cohan has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm so glad she's back in The Walking Dead, because the performances she's been given has been top tier, and she has just really elevated everything about what's going on. And I'm so happy to see her back. And then we come back to, Zeke and Tommy, and they're in cuffs. And Carol, of course, gets them out. And then they take Tommy to basically where he said someone he knows needs to have an appendectomy. And then they're bringing them you see all the animals, the goats and the donkeys and the horses, whatever. And they're walking, you see a veterinarian. And of course, this made me think of Herschel, because he was, a veterinarian. But they go back, and Ezekiel has this hidden hospital. And I think that's his way of giving back, because he didn't like how he moved up basically the chain to get help. And so he is basically replenishing the well. He took from the well, and he wants to replenish it. So he has this secret hospital where he's kind of giving back, because he realizes that some people may not get the help they need. So that's why he brought Tommy there. And he's going to operate on a woman named Teresa, who is actually part of the kingdom. So I thought that was really cool. Then another moment with Mercer and Princess. They're basically, talking in their hallway. And this scene had me kind of worried, because I thought maybe someone might have been listening in on Mercer. And that's what was going through my mind, but it didn't happen. But this is where Mercer kind of finally breaks down to Princess and admits that he killed 2 of his men, and how it's weighing on him. And she basically made him realize that, I can help you with the heavy stuff. I'm here for you. And just Mercer realizing that he has someone who is there for him, and their relationship is perfect. And the way they're just playing off each other, it's popping, and it's a beautiful relationship. And hats off to them, because they are making this real. They are making it work on screen. And then probably the most emotional scene, what you see Herschel just at his father Glenn's funeral. And if you're not sad at this powerful moment, and speaking of that, Kien Michael Spiller has been absolutely phenomenal. I've been really impressed with him in these episodes in season 11. He is just really delivering. That kid is going places, and he has done a phenomenal job. But then Lance comes out, and he starts trying to manipulate him, basically saying that, you need to help us. I want to help your mom, trying to get him to admit. And he takes out his hat that, the hat that kind of looked like Glenn's hat, and he says, "Ooh, there's a perfect fit," and basically kind of threatening him. And what's coming up next was absolutely epic. And Elijah just throws him up, and Elijah is so menacing. Just the intensity that he brought into the scene was fantastic. The stare, I would be afraid of Elijah in that scene. And then you see Daryl and Maggie. They hear the guards saying, "Come on, we got to get over there." And then they're saying, pointing the guns at Elijah, saying, "You need to let him go. We're going to kill you." And then Maggie says, she starts aiming at Lance, and then Daryl's like, "Everybody back off," having the gun aimed at the other guards. And Maggie delivers again, basically saying, "So many people have tried to, attack my family, and most of them are dead now." But then Daryl turns around and drops a fucking F-bomb, literally that word. And one of the most and it wasn't just there like a swear word that, hey, it's there for, ratings or whatever. Like, it actually delivered, and it made the scene more powerful because Daryl basically turns the gun at Lance and says, "You better tell your men to drop, or something really fucking bad's gonna happen." Like, absolute Norman Reedus, holy shit. That was a powerful, epic scene with him and Lauren and Josh Hamilton. Just wow. Loved, absolutely epic scene. Then we see Carol and Ezekiel talking, absolutely heartwarming. But then one of the things I took from that is Carol basically tells him, because he's trying to warm up, and she says, "We're not getting back together again." And of course not, because Daryl and Team Carol is coming. But Ezekiel's like, being the smooth talker, he's like, "Yeah, we'll see." But because I think he really still definitely cares for her, and Carol definitely cares for him, but I don't think it's there anymore. And I think her saying that kind of solidifies that going forward. And then you see, they had the successful surgery. Teresa, who is from the kingdom, is going to, looks like she's going to be okay. But like they said, 24 hours, we got to see how, the antibiotics and everything is going to work out. Then we got Eugene and Max. Another beautiful scene, and Margot Bingham and Josh, absolutely powerful scene, and they have their first kiss, and I love their relationship, and it's really, seriously, the acting in this whole episode was fantastic. The writing, my mind has been blown for this one. I really loved it. But then now towards the end, we got Lance and first you got Daryl and Gabriel and Aaron talking about what's going to have to happen. But then you see a guard come up to Lance and say, he found something, and they go, and these guards, they find Leah's tent, and she's cleaning her guns, and then she leaves 2 guns up by the tree. She goes back in the tent and gets out the back way and shoots some of the guards. Lance comes out and says, "Hey, before you kill us all, let me tell you something." She comes up with the gun pointed out, "You better talk fast," because Leah is no joke. Like, she looks like she's ready to go. And Lance basically says, "I'm here to offer you a job." Clearly, he wants her to assassinate Maggie, and this is going to be a big epic fight. Now, before this happens, one of the things that I had thought that's going to play into this is, and of course Daryl is there, of course, that relationship there, and Leah wants revenge on Maggie, but Carol has Leah's knife, and I know this is going to play in somehow. Possibly, maybe, she might, maybe not in this scene coming up, but somewhere down the line, if not here or here, I think Carol having that knife is going to play into this scenario. But what do you guys think? Did you like this episode? Did you love it as much as me? So many great scenes. This is setting up for the finale, for the last mid-season finale. That is so sad to say that for the main show, but yeah, my MVP is definitely going out to Lance Hornsby, played by Josh Hamilton, who delivered epic and powerful scenes, and he makes you hate him as a villain, because if an actor can make you feel this, then he or she is doing his job, and Josh Hamilton is totally delivering, and he's doing it with a smile, which is which makes you hate him even more. But absolutely epic. Love this episode, and my shout out as always goes to a good friend of mine. He is the Liminalist, and I got a treat for you. Well, he's an epic musician. If you like hard rock, heavy metal, then you are going to love his music. All his links are going to be down in the description as always. And I'm going to have one of his videos here right at the end. You're going to love it. Check out after listening to this music, check out this man's pages. Check out his songs, and show him some love. You're going to love this music. Without further ado, thank you guys for watching me. I love, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, and possibly subscribe. If you really enjoyed it, maybe share it. But again, I love you guys. Walking Dead family forever.
understand how to fulfill your life. The dreams become reality. This is what you're meant to be.
A creeper falling out. Oh.